feel lonely. But even if he didn't admit or nor ever would, he was happy that Naruto said he could bring his mother back. He still felt doubt, but if there was one thing he knew about Naruto, it was that when people doubted him they were always proven wrong. Sasuke had his sword delivered as Tsunade promised him, and the Uchiha quickly got out of the attire that Orochimaru had given him. He felt disgusted by it, and decided to burn in. Right now, the Uchiha was in a black shirt with the Uchiha symbol on the back and tight shorts. He wore his shin guards and black arm guards around his legs and arm. It felt good to be back in the training ground before the Uchiha took out his sword. He quickly went through his katas and stances. His Sharingan was blazing as he went through his intense workout. He could feel the stares of Sumambu on him, but he ignored it for the time being. However, that was only for about half an hour before he felt another presence. Sasuke sighed as he sheathed his sword and took a bottle of water. He allowed the water to quench his thirst while he rolled his eyes. "Sakura, come on now," Sasuke said, and just like he knew, the pink-haired Kunoichi appeared with her head down. Sasuke narrowed his eyes at her before he saw some other people appear. He saw Ino, Chuji, Shikamaru and Neji walking towards him. "Oh great, what do you all want?" Sasuke asked, sitting on the porch while Shikamaru rubbed the back of his head. "I see you're still the same troublesome guy," the Nara said while Sasuke huffed. "Is there something you need from me for some reason?" Sasuke asked, and Sakura looked at him in sadness. "Sasuke-kun, did you hear that Tsunade-sama's disbanding Team 7? She's making a group of me, Naruto, Kakashi, and Sumambu." "Yeah, I heard about it," Sasuke said while Sakura walked up to him in a pleading type of voice. "Then don't accept it. We should all be a team again like we used to," Sakura said while the others turned to Sasuke. The Uchiha closed his eyes and got to his feet. "I already agreed to it," Sasuke said, making everyone gasp at him like they found it shocking. "Sasuke, how could you be so thoughtless?" Ino asked, and Sasuke glared at her. Shikamaru and Chuji backed up before Sasuke turned around. "In what way am I being thoughtless? She should be happy for the training she received, but she keeps focusing on me. She needs to get over herself right now." "You say I'm being thoughtless, then have you thought about how I feel?" Sasuke asked, making Ino narrow her eyes while Sakura seemed confused. Sasuke ate his teeth and sighed. "Well, whatever. I agreed to it, so leave me alone so I can train. If you want your questions, then go ask the Hokage, cause I don't know it all." "It's time to stop living that dream, Sakura," Sasuke said before Chuji walked forward. "She just wanted you to come home, Sasuke." "Isn't that why you're here now?" he asked while Sasuke quickly swung his sword around, doing his katas as always. "No one's going to keep holding her hand all the time. I didn't come back for her, nor did I come back for this village. I only came back because of what Naruto said to me." "If what he said was true, then that's fine with me," Sasuke said, and Sakura widened her eyes at Naruto's name. "What did he say to you?" Sakura asked with a bit of haste in her voice which everyone had known. "It's none of your business what he said to me. Now then, leave." "You're disrupting my training," Sasuke said while Sakura growled. "Did those times mean nothing to you? You used to smile, have fun, and joke around with us. Why are you so cold?" she asked, and Sasuke stopped swinging. "Oh, this is not going to be good," Shikamaru said in thought, and unknown to him, Neji had the same thought as did Ino and Chuji. Sasuke huffed and closed his eyes. "I did like those times, but I also see the reality of it all. I've recently learned something that has challenged everything I've ever believed, and now I'm confused as to what I should do. I don't have the time to laugh, smile, or have fun. If you understood me at all, then you would leave me alone," Sasuke said, and just like that everyone walked away without saying a word while Sasuke sighed. A small smile appeared on his face before he turned around. "Sakura, you have potential despite being a damn fangirl. Stop wasting it, and get yourself some training and stop throwing your life away after fantasies," Sasuke said in thought before he continued on with his training. With Kakashi and Yugao, the sounds of clashing metal were numerous in the sounds of the forested areas. Kakashi backflipped and landed on one knee while Yugao smiled. "You used to be better than that with a sword, Kakashi-senpai," Yugao told him, and the Jonin rolled his eyes at her. He held his father's sword in his hands before getting back to his feet. "Can you blame me? I haven't picked one up in so long, but it feels good to have one in my hands again. OS, are you done or can we continue?" Kakashi asked, and Yugao smiled behind her mask. Are you going to get serious now? She asked, reaching for her mask while Kakashi reached for his headband. Yugao's mask fell to the ground, showing her face while Kakashi showed his Sharingan. Well, you know me, I like to cut loose every once in a while, Kakashi said to her, and the two immediately disappeared while clashes resumed and was ready to have some fun tomorrow. One day later, Naruto and Kushina sighed as they came through the doorway. They had been going midday yesterday, and just made it back. They were quite lucky at the time. Both showed their identification to the guards to let them in, which they did. Alright Sochi, let's go and see Tsunade, then we can get some kenjutsu training done. Along with some ninjutsu, but first we head up to the library and work on that little project of ours, Kushina said, and Naruto agreed. The two walked away towards the Hokage mansion. Tsunade was currently signing documents and prayed to Kami for something to do. She just couldn't get rid of the damn piles of papers. It was a living organism coming after her each time to make her life a living hell. Soon there was a knock on her door, and the Godame Hokage gasped with a blissful thanks to whomever she was talking to. Come in, she said joyfully, making Kushina and Naruto arrive. The two stepped inside while Tsunade seemed rather surprised. Kushina, Naruto, good of both of you to come back. Did you find anything in Yuzugakure? Tsunade asked, and Naruto nodded. We sure did. We found lots of stuff there. It was great, Tsunade Bachan, the blonde said, and Tsunade seemed shocked at the fact that they did find something, but she tried to hide that small fact. I see, well, you two are just in time. I have an announcement to make, and you two are required to be here. It's a little bit of a surprise, Tsunade said, making them raise their eyebrows in confusion of what she could want. It was then that Shizen came through the door with a small file. Here's that paper you wanted, Tsunade-sama, Shizen said to her, and the Hokage took it into her hands with a smile. Thank you, Shizen. Now could you please go get Sasuke, Kakashi and Yugao for me? Tsunade asked, and Shizen nodded with a bow before leaving. What's going on, Bachan? Why do you need to see them also? Naruto asked, and Tsunade could hardly contain her excitement in all the fun that she would have. Sorry, brat, but you're going to have to wait for that time when they arrive, Tsunade said, and making both Naruto and Kushina glare at her. I'm alright, but at least tell me why you need Sasuke. Isn't he still serving his time? Naruto asked, and Tsunade shook her head. No, because he's agreed to go with what I have planned. Besides, as a Chunin you should know some of these things, Tsunade said, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head with a slight nod. But if you must know, then he's out. He's agreed to go with what I have planned, that's why. Normally I wouldn't do this, but the fact that he gave up willingly sort of swayed my vote a little, Tsunade said, making Naruto and Kushina sweat drop. It would be best not to tell her about that. In about 8 to 10 minutes, Sasuke, Kakashi and Yugao arrived, and all 5 kenjutsu users stood before their Hokage. Naruto glanced at Sasuke and smiled. Hey team, glad to see you out, Naruto said, and Sasuke folded his arms with a smile of his own. Shut up, loser, he responded with his own little grin. The two boys said hi to Kakashi and the Umbu woman while Tsunade clapped her hands, bringing everyone's attention back to her. Alright, you 5, settle down. For the last few weeks I've been enacting a small plan to form a group. Ask your questions after I'm finished, Tsunade said, making everyone nod. Seeing that they understood, Tsunade decided to finish. Alright then, I'll get straight to the point. You all have something in common, something that now makes you stand out from other shinobi. You are all kenjutsu masters. You hold the finest expertise in sword-style jutsu. So I've taken it upon myself to make you all a group. As of right now you are all in the middle of the Jonin rank. Your group's purpose is to handle in all matters that need to be dealt with in the matter of swords, weapons, and anything else that seems related to the topics. Keep in mind that, yes, everyone uses weapons, but you're going to be one of Konoha's finest groups. Consider yourselves just like the Umbu in a sense. Your team is called Heineken Butai, the Swords of Fire Squad, Tsunade said, and everyone glanced at each other before Tsunade continued. You report to no one. You answer to no one. You are the blades that help protect this village. You are to only answer to me. You cut down our enemies in the name of Konoha. I suggest that you all get used to each other's. Yugao Yuzuki, Kakashi Hatake, Naruto Uzumaki, Kushina Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Do you all accept this group? Tsunade asked, and everyone seemed to sweat drop. It was a lot to take in for a new-founded group before Yugao turned around and bowed to everyone. I look forward to working with everyone, she said while they all nodded. Naruto immediately agreed after her, and Kushina did the same after her son. Sasuke then went and Kakashi agreed also. Seeing them all agree with her group, Tsunade smiled, but now was the time for questions which she was ready for. So what's the purpose of our group? I mean, do we have an objective? Sasuke asked, and Tsunade nodded fast, not wanting to get away from the point. You do have an objective. Assassinations, surveillance, combat tactics. All these things are things that you must do and more. You are the 5 who were hand-selected by me to do this group. Know that the missions I give you will not be easy. Some will bring near life and death situations, but I know you can all handle it, Tsunade said, and they all nodded. Do we have a base of operations? Kushina asked, and Tsunade smiled as she turned to Kakashi. We can use my old house. I don't really live there anymore, so it can be refitted to however we want so long as we have the money for it, Kakashi said, and Kushina smirked with a nod while Naruto got to his feet also. I think we could also use Yuzugakure for one of these base things. It's isolated, no one goes there anymore, and it's out of the way so it can be protected by enemies should we get attacked. It'll be the place of where we can go to do whatever we want so long as Ka-chan and Ba-chan are alright with it, Naruto said, and Sasuke raised an eyebrow at the name, but paid it no mind. Well, I have no problems with it, Kushina said, and Tsunade could honestly agree with it. I don't either. You will all be traveling a lot, so it's understandable. So if you want to use Yuzugakure as a base of operations, then that's fine, but you are to tell no one about it unless I deem it acceptable, Tsunade said, and everyone nodded with smiles on their faces. So who's the leader? Yugao asked, and Tsunade smiled as she closed her eyes. Well, since she's the most experienced, then I have to say Kushina is the leader of Heineken, Tsunade said, and everyone could agree. They thought Sasuke would say something, but the Uchiha didn't utter a word. Do we get paid? Sasuke asked, making everyone fall to the ground before getting up and rubbing their heads. They all chuckled before Tsunade coughed in her seat. Sorry about that. Yes, you all get paid the Jonin to Umbu pay for missions depending on what I give you. Any more questions? She asked, and no one seemed to have anything to say before Sasuke came up. What are our privileges? He asked, and everyone could see how that was an important issue to face. Tsunade sighed and smiled. Well, for one, almost all of you have a Sanin's traveling rights. Sasuke, since you're on probation, you must always take someone with you to be cautious, Tsunade said, making the Uchiha narrow his eyes. But he expected it, so it didn't really bother him. You all have 24-hour access to the Jutsu vault of the village. I have my own personal vault that no one, but the Hokage, can go into. Plus you can each have a copy of this, Tsunade said, handing them all 5 copies of the bingo book. They each took their copies and placed them away. Consider it a side project for money if you need it, the older blonde said, and the 5 of them could agree to this. Any more questions? Tsunade asked, and Naruto came forward. Just one more from me. You said that you assembled, but I still want to know why again, Naruto said, and Tsunade sighed. She turned to Yugao and pointed. Yugao has been known as Konoha's Kenjutsu mistress. No one knows her face, but her name is quite common. Kakashi was one of our best Kenjutsu users during the earlier times. Kushina was and still is a Kenjutsu legend. She passed those skills to you, which makes you a Kenjutsu master brat. And lastly, Sasuke was trained in swords by Orochimaru, so that makes him very adept. It's only natural that all of you should come together. Do you agree? She asked, and Naruto nodded as he backed up. Will we be facing any S-rank shinobi? Kakashi asked, and Tsunade nodded. I'm not sure of that, but it is likely given your group's mission now. I'd advise that you all be careful and watch each other's backs, she said to them, and they all agreed. No one had any more questions, and so on that note Tsunade opened a drawer and pulled out 5 brand new uniforms. The top of it consisted of a black jacket with plenty of hiding places for weapons and the like. The front of the jacket was covered in grayish armor and some parts to allow for protection and movement. On the back of the jacket was the standard swirl symbol like on all the other jackets. She passed them to everyone and they each took them. She then went into another drawer and pulled out the pants. They were completely black also, and the shin guards were strapped to the hem of the pants for protection to the legs. She passed those to everyone and they all took the clothes into their hands. The tailor who makes these is the only one who knows of your existence other than me, Shizen, the Umbu, and a few selected jonin. If these start to show wear and tear, damage them, take them to get repair or buy some more. But before that, Yugao, Kakashi, Naruto, Kushina, I will need your headbands, Tsunade said, and everyone raised an eyebrow. They all seemed confused, but Naruto unstrapped his while Kakashi pulled his off his head. Yugao had hers hidden under her clothes, and so she managed to get it off and handed it to Tsunade. In return for the headbands, Tsunade handled them all black scarves, each with a single color line going through it down to the base. Wear those in its place. You're not normal shinobi anymore, she said with a smile, and everyone nodded again. And from me to you 5. Here, she said, handing them each 5 licenses. Sasuke saw his face and name while everyone else did also. Never lose those. With those you have access to all the shops around the Land of Fire. You are all ready, now let me see you guys in the outfits, Tsunade said to them, and everyone did so. They all left to change and quickly returned. They all appeared in their black outfits, and Tsunade smiled at everyone. Very sharp, you 5. You all look amazing, she said while Naruto rubbed the back of his head. Kakashi gave an eye smile as he managed to somehow cover his Sharingan eye with his scarf. Sasuke smirked, and so did Yugao, while Kushina gave a cheeky grin. So do we have a mission already? Naruto asked, and Tsunade nodded, making them all go wide-eyed, but she calmed them down. Don't worry. You don't have to do it until later in the week, so you'll be fine. I suggest that you all take this time to get used to each other for the next few days. You're dismissed, Tsunade said, and everyone shined out of sight while she went back to her paperwork with a satisfied smile on her face. Rooftops. Everyone shined to the rooftops, and Naruto looked over the attire. Well, this is a brand new idea that I've never heard of, Naruto said while Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. This might be a new experience for us. Now then, I propose that we all go to my old house. It'll be our base of operations till we move to Yuzugakure, Kakashi said, and everyone agreed. So what is Yuzugakure? Sasuke asked, and Naruto smiled. The village and place of origin for the Uzumaki clan, Naruto said, and if Sasuke was shocked, then he hid it well. All this time he thought Uzumaki was a no-name, but it was a village and a clan? How could that be possible? Kakashi's house. Kakashi took the new team through the trees and into his house. He turned on the lights and everyone looked around. The place had recently been cleaned and refurbished. You have a nice place, Kakashi-senpai, Yugao said, and the jonin rubbed the back of his head. All those times I wondered where you lived, and I find this, Naruto said, and Sasuke could agree with him on that. Wait, I thought you lived in an apartment, Sasuke said, and Kakashi nodded. I do. This was my father's house, Kakashi said, making Sasuke and Naruto glance at each other before staying quiet. A small silence shadowed the area, and before long Kushina clapped her hand, bringing everyone's attention back together. All right then. I suggest that we all start to get to know each other. We'll all tell our likes, dislikes, hobbies, and our affinities. How about that? Kushina asked. Yugao agreed while Kakashi, Naruto, and Sasuke's sweat dropped. Deja vu? They all thought before everyone sat around the room. Kakashi served them all some tea and everyone thanked him for their drinks. All right, I'll go first. I'm Kushina Uzumaki. I like my son, Fuinjutsu, Kenjutsu, and teaching my son all I know along with ramen. I dislike those who make bad ramen, anyone who gets in my way, and those who disrespect their fellow shinobi. My hobby is training and spending time with my son. My affinity is water. Next, Kushina said, and Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. Well, Naruto, Sasuke, I guess you'll learn a bit more about me now. I'm Kakashi Hatake. I like walking around the village, being around my fellow jonin, reading and training. I dislike those who abandon others. I also dislike Guy when he tries to force me to do his competitions. My hobby is reading. My affinities are fire and lightning, Kakashi finished, and Yugao continued. Hello everyone. I'm Yugao Yuzuki. I like looking at the moon, walking around the village at night, and reading when I have the time. I dislike people who don't treat their weapons with respect. I dislike anyone who looks down on me. My hobby is training with my sword. My affinity is lightning. Yugao finished and Sasuke started. I'm Sasuke Uchiha. I like training, getting stronger, and achieving my goals. I dislike those who get in my way and those who look down on the Uchiha clan. My hobby is training myself. My affinity is fire and lightning. Sasuke finished and Naruto lastly started his own. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I like my mother, ramen, my friends, kenjutsu and training, along with my recently good friend Kyuubi, Naruto said, keeping the last part to himself, making Kyuubi snicker with a small nod. My dislikes are the times it takes to wait for ramen, those who underestimate me or threaten my mother. My hobby is training with my mother and practicing my kenjutsu. My affinity is wind. Naruto finished and everyone nodded. They were all surprised that they found their similarities so quickly, but they let that end for right now. Alright then, now that we know some things about each other, we can get more acquainted. Kakashi, how many rooms does this place hold? Kushina asked, and Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. Maybe 5 or 6, he said, and Kushina nodded. Alright, since we're all a part of Heineken, then we'll make our rooms here. There will be times that we can't go back to our usual places since people come there a lot, so everyone we need to grab some clothes from our rooms and houses and bring them back here. Meanwhile, we'll each get supplies for the fridge. The place seems clean, so we'll divide the chores and things. Same can be said for when we go to Yuzugakure. Only Naruto and I can help you pass, so make sure one of us is with you when we go, Kushina told them. Everyone in the group agreed before Naruto looked the house over. Kakashi-sensei, does this place have a vault? Naruto asked, and Kakashi nodded. Yeah, it's a medium-sized vault that can hold a lot of things. Why? He asked, and Naruto smiled. Well, I was thinking that we could all take some scrolls from our houses and place them inside. Kind of like our own little jutsu vault of sorts. It might be a good idea, right? He asked, and everyone glanced at each other. I think Naruto-san has a point. I think that might be a good idea also, the purple-haired woman said, and everyone agreed with it. Well, that's alright with me, but we should also take some with us to Yuzugakure. If we have the time, then we'll renovate the place, and then we'll make some buildings for ourselves. It'll be nice, Kushina said, and Sasuke smirked. We should also make a training ground here and there for ourselves. We'll need to refine our skills. I'd rather not save the dobe all the time, Sasuke stated, and Naruto growled. Please team, I kicked you that one time, Naruto told him, and Sasuke grew a tick mark. Everyone's sweat dropped as they stared at each other, making lightning go between them. Alright, they always like that? Yugao asked, and Kakashi sighed. Habits don't die easily, I guess, he said, making Kushina nod. The two boys broke their glances with each other and huffed at each other. Mama, you too, for now let's all get this stuff done. I'll open the vault, and you guys can set up the rooms. We should get out of these now before someone notices. So we'll go home and change. Our outfits will remain here, Kakashi said, and everyone agreed with him. So on that note, everyone shined out of sight to go and collect some of their belongings. With Naruto and Kushina, the two members of Heineken came up to their house and quickly got inside. They walked into their room and opened the door. Naruto took off his attire and stripped down to his boxers and t-shirt, while Kushina took off the same thing, but stayed in some more moderate clothing. They each put on some different clothes and quickly got to putting some of their clothes in some scrolls along with some battle items. Naruto sealed 3 to 5 pairs of clothes and Kushina did the same. They sealed their Heineken attire and quickly walked downstairs. They each sealed some food and other things in their scrolls and were about to walk to the door before they heard a knock. Naruto gulped while Kushina opened the door. They saw Sakura come through the door while giving a sad smile. Sochi, I'll take our things. See you later, Kushina said as she ran out the door. Naruto narrowed his eyes and allowed Sakura to come inside. Hi Naruto, Sakura said, and the blonde smiled. Hey Sakura. How are you? Naruto asked, and Sakura shrugged her shoulders. I'm fine, but Sasuke-kun wants to disband Team 7. Isn't that crazy? He's joining some group. Has Tsunade-sama talked to you about it? Sakura asked, and Naruto closed his eyes. He knew this might come up. While they ran through the trees, Sasuke told Naruto about his talk with Sakura, and the blonde knew it wouldn't be long before she would come to him to ask him not to do it. She always came to him when she was desperate. Yeah, me and Ka-chan joined, Naruto said as he didn't really divulge any information, just told Sakura that part. The pink-haired Kunoichi gasped and stood to her feet. First Kakashi-sensei, then Sasuke, and now you. Am I the only one who still wants the old Team 7 back? Sakura asked, and Naruto stood to his feet. He could feel the Shin characteristics coming into play. He was a lot more serious than before he met Shin, but only around people who deserved it. Look, Sakura, I'll always treasure Team 7, but we're not going to stay a group. I told you I would bring Sasuke back, and I did. I never said that things would just be the same. That's impossible, and you know it is, Naruto told her while Sakura seethed. I thought you of all people would understand how I felt. You've changed, Naruto. Where's the blonde idiot that I like to hang around with? Where's the idiot that could make me laugh with his silly antics or his ravings about being Hokage? Sakura asked, and Naruto narrowed his eyes. He stood to his feet, and his glare made her flinch. She felt like she was staring death in the face. Yeah, I've changed, Sakura. I'm no idiot anymore. I've grown up. So has Sasuke, in a way. I'm always gonna be around, but I'm not going to let you or anyone else berate me like you used to. I still want to be Hokage, but I'm also growing up just like the rest of the world. Now if you don't mind, then I have stuff to do, Naruto said as he walked out the door, leaving Sakura inside. With Naruto, the blonde sighed as he rubbed the back of his head. Maybe he was a little harsh, but he had to think about other things, and Sakura wasn't one of them at the moment. He would always care for Sakura, but only as a friend. He had his girlfriend. He had the love of his life, and he couldn't be the one to be Sakura's support anymore. Was that too mean, Kyuubi? Naruto asked, and the fox demon snorted. Please, brat, I think you let her off too easy, if anything. At least you're not her punching bag anymore, Kyuubi said, and Naruto nodded. He then hopped along the rooftops and went back to Kakashi's old house. Kakashi's house. Naruto came up to the house and made sure that he wasn't followed. He walked inside and saw everyone else around in the room with their stuff. Yugao had a few scrolls, and so did Sasuke and Kakashi. Kushina had her stuff, and so did Naruto. Alright, then we'll all go to our rooms. Pick anyone you want. Just don't take my father's room. I'd like to keep that one tidy, Kakashi said, and everyone respected his wishes. They all settled their things in their rooms, leaving a few of them free since Naruto and Kushina bunked together, saying that they were just used to it, and being in small spaces. No one seemed to complain nor care. It took about 2 hours, but everyone was settled in, and some of their weapons were stocked up in Kakashi's vault. Everyone sat around the house and noticed it was getting dark out before Yugao stood up to her feet. Is anyone hungry? I'll make dinner, she said, and Kushina stood to her feet. Let me help you with that, the redhead offered, and Yugao gratefully accepted. Meanwhile, Naruto stood to his feet and headed for the door. Where are you going, Dobe? Sasuke asked with a grin, and Naruto glared. I'm going to the library. Be right back, Naruto said as he closed the door while Sasuke widened his eyes. Kakashi did the same while Kushina chuckled at their reactions. Soon Sasuke stood to his feet and Kakashi did also. I guess we'll train for a bit. See you ladies later, Kakashi said, making them nod as he and Sasuke disappeared into the trees. With Naruto, the blonde walked the streets of Konoha and sighed. He wasn't about to go to the library just yet. He smiled as he found this to be the perfect time. The blonde quickly vanished from the streets and into a secluded spot. He came into a small area of the woods in Konoha and stripped his hand of the seal covering it. He looked at the large lines over his shoulder going to his seal and sighed. He bit his thumb and slammed the seal. Kuchios no Jutsu, Naruto yelled, and the seal glowed. He covered his eyes before he quickly faded. He smirked as he turned around to see Shin looking at him with his piercing gaze as always, and Naruto tried to match it with his own. At least you're learning to use your gifts better. I'm impressed, if only slightly. Now then, what do you want from me now? The Shinigami asked, and Naruto smiled. Well, tomorrow, I'd like you to train me in more of the spirit kenjutsu that you have me doing, but I would like to revive someone else. Even if I think this is a very bad idea, Naruto said, and the Shinigami closed his eyes. He nodded and got ready to do a revival. Who would you like to revive? He asked, and Naruto sighed. There was no turning back once he said this name. I want to revive the female head of the Uchiha clan, the matriarch. The mother of Sasuke Uchiha and Itachi Uchiha. I want to revive Mikoto Uchiha, Naruto said, and the beads of the Shinigami rattled. They glowed in a bright light and Naruto covered his eyes. The entire area was enveloped unseeable before it died down. Contract agreement. I expect one sacrifice by the end of the week, or I take her back, the Shinigami said, and Naruto agreed to it instantly. Understood, the blonde said, and immediately he saw a figure arrive out of the light. He smiled while the Shinigami faded. Mikoto opened her eyes and stared at Naruto. Who are you? She asked, and the blonde smiled. Hello, I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Welcome back to the living world, Mikoto-san, Naruto said with a thumbs up while Mikoto widened her eyes. What? With Naruto. The blonde gazed at the Uchiha matriarch while Mikoto touched her face. She gasped in the revelation that she was alive. It all felt like a miracle. She noticed Naruto staring at her with a smile on his face while she settled down. How am I back? Wait, that face. You couldn't be Kushina's son, Naruto Uzumaki, Mikoto said to him, and Naruto nodded fast. He rubbed the back of his head while he gave her a cheeky grin. Guilty as charged, I guess, the blonde said while Mikoto gazed at him up and down. The last time she had ever seen Naruto was when he was either 6 or 7. To see him so tall was different in its own right. Why? Why did you revive me? This should be impossible unless… Mikoto thought for a second, and the idea that Naruto would try an Edo Tensei on her just to bring her back. The disrespect of the dead was so wrong and cruel, and Naruto seemed to know her thoughts before he chuckled. No, it's not an Edo Tensei, Naruto told her, and Mikoto widened her eyes before she calmed down. She sighed in relief that it wasn't like that, but that still left the question of how this was possible. Then please indulge me a bit, Naruto-kun. I admit that it's good to see you, but mind telling me about this? Mikoto asked, and Naruto nodded. He sat in the grassy field and Mikoto did the same. Naruto told her everything. He told her about him almost dying in Final Valley. His meeting with the Shinigami. How the Shinigami became his first summoner, and even how he revived Kushina, Gaara, Hinako and herself. Needless to say, but Mikoto was surprised that anyone could hold a contract with the death god. It had to be considered a really big privilege and honor to hold such a thing. And you used it to revive me, but why? She asked, and Naruto chuckled while Mikoto stared at his seal. She gazed at its complexity before moving her eyes back to Naruto, who was still chuckling. For one, it was a promise to someone, but I can't tell you who yet. You'll meet him tonight, but before we leave, can you please tell me something? Naruto asked, and Mikoto nodded. She felt obliged since Naruto told her what she wanted to know. Alright, what would you like to ask, Naruto-kun? She asked with a small smile, and the blonde narrowed his eyes into a small glare. What happened with the Uchiha massacre? The blonde asked, and Mikoto's smile dwindled. She looked at the ground for a second, contemplating a few things while Naruto gave her the time that she needed. It's not easy to explain, but the Uchiha were feeling arrogant. Our clan had always looked out for the benefits of the village, and my husband, Fugaku Uchiha, felt that the Hokage position was withering. He felt that the Uchiha should be deciding things for the village since we were the village police force. I always felt the Fugaku was blinded by that, but I never said anything even though I know I should have. Then Itachi came to kill us in the name of the village of Konoha. I can only wonder how hard it was to kill all of us. But Fugaku and I took our deaths without any resistance, Mikoto explained while Naruto raised an eyebrow. But all of you? Didn't any of you disapprove of this? Naruto asked, and Mikoto nodded. She sighed and slightly rubbed the back of her hair. Yes, but the village probably didn't want to take any chances. Rather than keep the Uchiha alive and live in fear of a possible coup, they decided to get rid of everyone. Tell me, is Sarutobi-sama still alive? She asked, and Naruto looked away in some sadness. It was the only answer that she needed before she sighed. I see, so who's the Hokage now? Mikoto asked, and Naruto rolled his eyes with a small smile. Our female Sannin, Tsunade Senju, the blonde said, and Mikoto gasped. So Tsunade came back to the village. Well, that was a surprise, as she could forget about the fact that she was even alive. The Uzumaki and Uchiha sat in relative silence for a little while before Naruto took out a piece of paper. He then took out a pen and smiled as he wrote on the paper. Mikoto watched the blonde write whatever he was writing before he stopped. He handed the note to Mikoto, and the Uchiha matriarch took it into her hands. "All right, I think we can go now, but go towards the Uchiha compound and stay in the living room. You'll meet the person soon enough," Naruto told her, and Mikoto gave a confused expression. She wondered what Naruto could be hiding from her, but she gave in and got to her feet. "I'm all right," she said, walking off, and Naruto snickered. He could only hope that things went well. "All right, now to get you, then that'll be it," Naruto said to himself before he shot off back to Kakashi's house. Heineken base of operations. Yugao and Kushina were still cooking their food as they heard swords clashing outside. It seemed that Kakashi and Sasuke were having a good time with each other, but they did wonder where Naruto was. He had been gone for a long time and everyone was starting to get worried. "Is the food almost done, Yugao?" Kushina asked, and the female ex-umbu nodded, taking a spoon to sip the broth of some soup. "Yes, Kushina-san. Though I hope Naruto-san comes home soon," Yugao said, and Kushina agreed before the two ladies heard the doorknob twist. They tensed for a second before they saw Naruto come through the door with an ear-splitting grin across his face. "Well, speak of the devil. How was the library, Naruto-kun?" Kushina asked, and the blonde snickered. He turned back to his mother, and due to their connection Kushina could feel the overwhelming joy that Naruto felt, although it seemed more like a prank was coming into play sooner or later. "Why are you so happy?" Yugao asked, and Naruto sat on the couch. He tried to calm down, but the feeling was just too good not to smile. "No particular reason." "Hey, where are Kakashi and Sasuke?" Naruto asked, and before they could answer, the two Heineken members came through the door from the training field as they heard Naruto's question. "Right here, you loser. What's the matter? Too many hard books for you to read?" Sasuke asked with a smile, but Naruto ignored it while Kakashi went upstairs to wash up while Naruto wrapped an arm around Sasuke's neck. He was in too good a mood to care about Sasuke's insult. The Uchiha raised an eyebrow at Naruto's upbeat attitude as he wondered if something happened, but Naruto was going to clarify that soon enough. "What's with you, loser? Get off me," Sasuke said, and Naruto did so before he stopped smiling long enough to have a serious expression. "Sasuke, go back to the Uchiha compound," Naruto told him, and Sasuke raised an eyebrow. "For what?" he asked, and Naruto smiled as he pushed Sasuke to the door. The Uchiha grumbled at the blonde before Naruto whispered in his ear. "You held your end of the bargain, so I did the same," he whispered, and Sasuke widened his eyes. He turned to Naruto in shock while he saw the cheeky smile on the blonde's face. Sasuke felt his hands tremble as he took the doorknob of Kakashi's house in his hands. He turned back to Naruto one more time, and the Uzumaki urged him to get a move on. "She's waiting for you, Sasuke," Naruto told him, and hearing those words Sasuke quickly opened the door and slammed it shut as he left the house in an obvious hurry. "Where's he going?" "Dinner's ready," Yugao said, setting the table, and Naruto smiled as he sat down at the table. Kakashi had returned and sat at another part of the table. Kushina sat next to Naruto, and Yugao sat next to Kakashi. "I don't think we'll be seeing him the rest of the night," Naruto said while Kushina eyed him. "Did he do what she thought he did?" She quickly noticed the smile on his face, and closed her eyes, smiling in turn of his actions. "That's my son, I guess," Kushina thought to herself as everyone decided to eat their food without waiting for Sasuke due to Naruto saying that the Uchiha wouldn't be back for the rest of the day. With Sasuke, the Uchiha huffed as he hit the streets of Konoha. He quickly ran through the crowds of people. He could have taken the rooftops, but he was in too much emotion to remember that small fact at the moment. Naruto had done it. He revived his mother just like he said he would. It sounded like a damn dream, but Sasuke could only pray that it wasn't. He rushed through some civilians that he shoved out of his way. "She's alive? Is she really alive?" Sasuke asked all these questions in his head as he continued to run while the sweat dripped from his face. He quickly came to the Uchiha compound gates and panted. He looked around the place only to see it was dark. He frantically looked around the entire place before he came up to his house. Sasuke opened the door and quickly turned on the lights in the living room. Time seemed to stop as Sasuke stared in complete shock. The Uchiha fell to his knees while he balled his fists. He stared at the dark-haired woman who was sitting on her couch looking at him. She gave a warm and inviting smile to the Uchiha heir before she stood to her feet. "Hello, Sasuke, how have you been?" she asked, walking over to him, and ruffled his hair. Sasuke trembled from her touch before he quickly grabbed her, shocking Mikoto with his action. "Ka-san," Sasuke said eagerly, and Mikoto smiled while she softly petted his hair. Sasuke gritted his teeth while his Sharingan flared. He gazed at his mother up and down multiple times, and it showed him everything. She was the real person. No clone, no genjutsu. It really was his mother. "My Sasuke, you have grown up a lot. I miss you," Mikoto said to him, and Sasuke bit his lower lip. He gulped while he settled into his mother's embrace. Mikoto was more than happy to allow him that as they rested for a few minutes. He really did it, but how? "It's not possible," Sasuke thought before he got up, and Mikoto did the same. She took in Sasuke's appearance up and down, and he really turned into an astounding young man in her eyes. She looked at him before she took his hand and guided him towards the couch. Sasuke followed her and the two sat on the couch. "I can't believe it," Sasuke said, and Mikoto smiled at her youngest son. She could tell it was a really big shock for him before she went into her clothes and pulled out a small paper. Sasuke noticed the letter as Mikoto handed it to him. "Here for you, Sasuke," Mikoto told him, and Sasuke took the letter. He opened it and read the letter. "To Mr. Amo. There, are you happy now? I told you that I always keep my word about the things I will do. There is Mikoto Uchiha right in the flesh. Please be happy with this. No doubt this is going to get a rise out of the village, and Tsunade Bachan is already suspicious of my actions, so please find a way to deal with this. Mikoto already told me that she wouldn't say anything. Please lighten up now and don't brood. Naruto Uzumaki." Sasuke crunched the letter into his hands and smiled. He sighed with a mental nod. Naruto did his part, so Sasuke would do his and not say anything to give this away. Whatever Naruto didn't want people to know, then it was probably for the best, Sasuke figured. Sasuke put the note away and turned to his mother while Mikoto smiled at him. "Well, Sasuke, are you going to just stare at me, or will you tell your mother about your life?" Mikoto asked, and Sasuke nodded. He closed his eyes as he told his mother about his lonely life, which effectively made Mikoto sad about all the sadness that he endured. Sasuke told her about his being the Rookie of the Year, and his obsession with killing Itachi because of what he did to the clan. Mikoto closed her eyes as she knew she would have to tell Sasuke the truth about the entire thing later. Sasuke talked to her about his entire life, even the unpleasant parts of teaming up with Orochimaru for a bit for power. Sasuke was actually quite ashamed to admit it to his mother, and while Mikoto severely disapproved of his actions, she could understand where he was coming from. Sasuke finished his story and Mikoto sighed. "That was stupid what you did, Sasuke," Mikoto told him, and Sasuke sighed with a nod. He stayed silent before Mikoto gently pressed his head to her shoulder. "Don't ever do that again. I never want to see you down that path again." "But Sasuke, there is something that I must tell you," Mikoto told him, and the Uchiha looked at her in confusion of what she could tell him. "What is it, Ka-san?" Sasuke asked, and Mikoto sighed. She closed her eyes, trying to find the words to explain to her son. She'd rather get him off that revenge path, and Naruto had done the first step, albeit bribery in a small sense. "Sasuke, Itachi didn't kill the Uchiha clan simply because he wanted to," Mikoto said, and Sasuke looked at the ground while he contemplated her words. "I know that. Everyone is telling me that. One of the Umbu told me that Itachi was doing it for the village. I find it to be so insane," Sasuke said in anger, but Mikoto's presence seemed to calm him down as she gently hushed her son. Sasuke calmed down a little more, and Mikoto spoke again. "Sasuke, Itachi did the right thing. Believe it or not, but our clan wanted to overthrow Konoha," Mikoto said, making Sasuke widen his eyes. The Uchiha balled his fists before he stood to his feet. "You're messing with me, right? Father's the one who taught me about loyalty to one's village. He told me to get stronger, all for the sake of being a good Konoha shinobi," Sasuke said, and Mikoto nodded as she stood to her feet also. She and Sasuke stared at each before the Uchiha heir looked at the ground. "Yes, Sasuke, he told you that, but you misinterpreted it. You weren't to be strong for this Konoha, but for his Konoha. The one he would rule over as the Uchiha head and the Hokage of the village." Sasuke, Itachi is the one who showed true loyalty to the village, to love his village so much that he would take the blame for the village and become an international criminal. At least that's what I think would happen. Did he become a criminal? Mikoto asked, and Sasuke nodded. An S-ranked criminal, Sasuke corrected, and Mikoto mentally whistled. She didn't know whether to be proud or sad that he was considered an S-rank shinobi. The two Uchiha stayed silent for a small while before Sasuke looked at the wall. So what am I supposed to do? I never dreamed of a life where I wasn't going to kill Itachi for what he did, Sasuke said, seething, and Mikoto smiled as she kissed her son's forehead, making him lightly blush. Sasuke, forgive Itachi. You know the burden of following orders. I bear no hatred for Itachi's son, so please, just for me, try and forgive him. He might still feel bad for all that he did. I've known you both since you were young and you can't fool me. Neither of you can or ever will, Mikoto said with pride, and Sasuke couldn't help but give a small snicker. Soon his stomach rumbled, making the Uchiha blush in embarrassment. Mikoto chuckled at him before she noticed how messed up he looked in his clothes. Well, we can talk about later for right now. We'll get you something to eat and then we'll go see Tsunade. There is something I'd like to ask her, Mikoto said, and Sasuke paled. Is that such a good idea? He asked, remembering Naruto's little deal, and that Mikoto could tell that's what he was thinking about. Don't worry, I know about Naruto and we'll let that be our little secret. Now then, what would my son like for dinner? Mikoto asked, and Sasuke gave a very rare, but truly happy smile. This was such a good feeling for the Uchiha, as he had his mother back in his life. Next morning, Naruto sighed as he got to his feet. He yawned himself awake only to see that he and Kushina had spent their first night in Kakashi's house. The dinner Yugao and Kushina made for everyone was good, but just as Naruto suspected, Sasuke didn't come back that night, and he had a good reason for not coming back. Naruto got up from the bed and stretched his legs. He saw Kushina still sleeping before he smiled and kissed her cheek. Kushina snuggled in the bed before she sighed. Naruto chuckled at her before he put on his clothes. In no time Naruto was eating his breakfast just like usual downstairs before his eyes gleamed. That's right. He had 24-hour access to the Jutsu library. He could go there, and all he would have to do was clear this with Tsunade, then he could go. Plus maybe he could come up with a different name other than what he thought for his time-space ninjutsu. I'm surprised you didn't say anything about me bringing back an Uchiha, Naruto said, mentally making his fox stir in its cage. I don't like it. Those damn arrogant pricks. You'd better not bring back any more. I still hate them with every fiber of my being, Kyuubi said while Naruto snickered. So that's just a big, old, fat lump of hatred, right? Naruto asked, and Kyuubi grew a tick mark on his furry head. I'm not old nor am I fast, that wasn't funny, Kyuubi said, and Naruto rolled his eyes. The talk was cut short as Naruto finished his food. He was ready to leave after he left a note as to where he would be. So on that note, no pun intended, Naruto set out of the house and walked into the streets. Immediately he heard whispers of people talking. He snickered as he found that news traveled fast. Did you see her? I did. I can't believe it. Mikoto-sama is alive and well. I feel like it's almost impossible. Maybe the Shinigami likes her. All these comments Naruto heard, and they made him chuckle. He didn't have on his Heineken outfit, but just some casual clothes. Damn, news travels fast. I can only hope that no one traces this back to me, Naruto said to himself as he entered the Hokage mansion. He was no closer to walking up the stairs before he saw something slam out of the door. His sweat dropped, and noticed it was a bottle of sake. I quit, someone yelled, making Naruto quickly turn his head to see Mikoto and Sasuke staring at Tsunade as she threw sake bottle after sake bottle out the window. The blonde's sweat dropped again as he wondered what this was about. Tsunade-sama, you must calm down, Shizen yelled while Jiraiya seemed to be in a state of shock. Tsunade grew a tick mark before turning to her assistant and grabbing her clothes. Calm down, you expect me to calm down, do you, or do you not see the person in this room? At the moment I quit sake, it won't deal with this headache. I can take a lot, but this is impossible, Tsunade yelled while Naruto gulped. He quickly turned around the corner before Tsunade narrowed her eyes. Naruto, get your in here, she yelled, and the blonde winced. Sasuke and Mikoto turned around while Naruto rubbed the back of his head. He chuckled before dodging a sake bottle. What was that for? Naruto asked, and Tsunade grew another tick mark on her head. Who did it? I know you were dead, Mikoto. Kushina, then Hinako, and now you. What is going on here? I want to know it now, Tsunade commanded while Sasuke paled. Jiraiya completely agreed with Tsunade while the Sannin turned to Naruto. What are you doing here anyway, brat? Tsunade asked, and Naruto gulped. I just wanted to tell you that I was going to the Jutsu Vault for a little while. That's all. Did I interrupt something? And who's this? Naruto asked, feigning ignorance, making Sasuke and Mikoto lightly chuckle at him before Jiraiya stepped forward. Naruto, this is Mikoto Uchiha. She's the matriarch of the Uchiha clan and Sasuke's mother. She was, and all the others were reported to be deceased, so this is a real mystery. I don't see the work of an Edo Tensei in the least. Sasuke, what have you done? Jiraiya asked, and the Uchiha gasped. He bit his lower lip, and Mikoto was about to speak before Tsunade interrupted. Mikoto, let Sasuke talk. I want to hear this before I go insane, Tsunade said, and Naruto gulped before Sasuke rubbed the back of his head and closed his eyes. Why are you asking me? I didn't know about this at all. I only found out about this yesterday, Sasuke said to her, and Tsunade dropped her jaw along with Jiraiya. There was no way that she could have gotten into the village since the border patrols were tighter. Someone would have noticed her at the very least, but she was dead, gone, out of commission, pushing up daisies, whatever you wanted to say. This was just too weird to be true. If you'll let me, then I can explain this, Mikoto told Tsunade, and the Godame Hokage slumped into her chair before rubbing her temples. Brat, if you have something to do with this, then you'd better tell me now, Tsunade said to Naruto, and the blonde raised an eyebrow before he mentally stared to sweat. He had learned to keep his face emotionless, but he had forgot that lesson at the moment, while Kyuubi was grinning like mad. Come, brat. It's time to get out of this jam. You knew this was coming, Kyuubi told him, and Naruto gulped. Why are you asking me? I don't even know who this woman is until now. I just came to tell you that I was going to the Jutsu library, Naruto said, making Tsunade slam her head on the table. Jiraiya face-palmed himself before Tsunade looked at another bottle of sake. This has to be a damn dream, she said before she turned to Shizen. Shizen, get rid of every single last sake bottle I own. Right now, Tsunade yelled, and Shizen gulped. Tsunade-sama, you're not thinking clearly. Please settle down, Shizen told her before Tsunade sighed. Tsunade, I said I can explain, Mikoto yelled, and Sasuke backed away from his mother and appeared next to Naruto. I don't know how you did it, loser, but you have my eternal gratitude. I also learned some things last night. Don't expect me to keep saying this or say it again, but thank you. I really mean it, Sasuke whispered, and Naruto smiled. It's alright, Sasuke. I know what it's like to miss a mother, Naruto told him, and Sasuke nodded before they turned back to see Mikoto talking. You see, Itachi didn't actually kill me. In fact, he told me of his entire plan and I went with it. He told me that he would tell me all about Akatsuki. Yeah, I knew about it, and he would give me information while I passed it to the Sandaime. He didn't let anyone, and I had gone into hiding because of it. There were so many nights that I wanted to spend with Sasuke, but I knew I couldn't. Underneath the Uchiha compound is a bunker where I stayed in. I was given food by some unknown source, so I pretty much stayed down there while listening to what happened to the world. What you saw in blood was a blood clone that I used to make it real, but I couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to see Sasuke, and so I decided to reappear. I didn't care about the consequences so long as I got to see my son, Mikoto said, smiling and waving at Sasuke, who turned away with an embarrassed look on his face. So why didn't he tell us about it? Jiraiya asked, and Mikoto sighed. Well, Tsunade wasn't even here, and Jiraiya, you were always traveling. Plus it was treated as a SS rank secret, so there was nothing he could do about it. Don't blame him or me about it, Mikoto said while Tsunade sighed before turning to Jiraiya. Did Sensei even know about Akatsuki before you told him? Tsunade asked, and Mikoto grew a tick mark. You think I'm lying? She asked dangerously, making Tsunade and Jiraiya put their hands up in defense, seeing the deadly aura around Mikoto's form. No, that's not it. This is just a lot to take in at the moment. I can't believe it, Tsunade said, and Jiraiya could agree. I'll have to look into some things, but I suppose that makes sense. So Haim, what should we do? You know how strong Mikoto is. She was the only one who could effectively match Kushina in anything, Jiraiya said, and Tsunade could agree. She knew a lot of Mikoto's exploits even when she was traveling. It'd be a waste not to have her back in the service. Well, I don't mind coming back into the service, but I have a question for both of you, Mikoto said, and the two nodded while she smiled and placed her hands on the desk. Sasuke, Naruto, please leave this instant, she said, making the two glance at each other. Mikoto glared her Sharingan at the two Sannin, making them gulp. Immediately Naruto and Sasuke left, leaving Jiraiya and Tsunade at Mikoto's mercy. Now then, I'm only going to ask this once and I want an answer. Where is Danzo? She yelled out, making Tsunade and Jiraiya turn to each other. We don't know right now, Jiraiya said, and Mikoto smiled while her eyebrow twitched. Summon him now or I'll make the two of know why I was one of the closest shinobi to the Sannin, she said, making Tsunade nod along with Jiraiya. With Sasuke and Naruto, the two boys were walking towards the Jutsu vault near the bottom of the Hokage mansion. It wasn't the Hokage's vault, but a vault for all those Jonin and above who could take scrolls and the such out of the vault. So are you happy? Naruto asked, and Sasuke nodded. He then looked at the ground inside. But I learned of the truth about Itachi, Sasuke said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes to the mention of the elder Uchiha. I did also. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Naruto asked, and Sasuke nodded. He sighed again while Naruto rubbed the back of his head. So what are you going to do about it? Now that you know Itachi wasn't who we thought it was? Naruto asked him, and Sasuke bit his lower lip. He uttered, but Naruto didn't really care if the Uchiha wouldn't respond or not. It must have been a lot for him to take in at the moment. He could only hope that Sasuke would start to lighten up a bit more. Anyway, why are you going to the Jutsu vault? Sasuke asked the blonde, and Naruto smiled. Say CRET, he said, making the Uchiha scowl at his Heineken partner. He said, but he followed the blonde anyway. He had nothing better to do at the moment. He said that his mother wouldn't mind training him a bit later. Not to mention that he couldn't wait to see what scrolls the Jutsu vault. Naruto and Sasuke came up to the vault being guarded by two Umbu and came up to them. They were about to go through the door before one of the Umbu turned to them. Can we help you? The Umbu asked, and Naruto turned to him. Yes, Sasuke and I are going inside, Naruto told them like it was an obvious thing. The two Umbu glanced at each other before turning back to the blonde. Look, kid, only Jonin and Umbu are allowed in here, and last time I checked you were either, so why don't you and the Uchiha get lost? One of the Umbu said, making Sasuke and Naruto narrow their eyes. They growled at the Umbu for calling them kids. Naruto sighed as he took out his new license and flashed it at the Umbu. What is this? The Umbu asked, and Naruto sighed again before he gritted his teeth. This is my Heineken license. It grants me and Sasuke access to the Jutsu vault, Naruto said with a glare before the Umbu handed him back his license. Obviously fake. There is no such thing as a Heineken license. Better luck next time. Now leave before we turn you to Tsunade-sama, the Umbu said to him, making Naruto ball his fists. This had to be some joke, didn't it? Hey, what's going on here? Someone asked, making the four turn around. Naruto looked to see his mother smiling at everyone along with Kakashi and Yugao. The entire Heineken team was in front of the Umbu guards before one of them recognized Yugao. Why, Yugao Taicho, what are you doing here? I thought you resigned from the Umbu, one of them said, and the purple-haired Heineken member smiled. That's right, I did, but what's going on here? She asked while the Umbu looked at Naruto and Sasuke. They want entry into the Jutsu vault, but we told them that they have to be Jonin or Umbu. They handed us fake licenses, so we're trying to send them away, one of them said while Kakashi took his out. By any chance was it like this? Kakashi asked with an eye smile, and the Umbu gasped at the same license with Kakashi's face on. How do you? He asked, and Kakashi rubbed the back of his head, while Kushina stepped forward. You two are obviously mistaken. It seems that you didn't hear the news. Tsunade has created a group called Heineken, and just like the Umbu and Jonin in the village, we can all go into the Jutsu vault. The license you saw was real, so you should let them and us past, she told them, and the Umbu gulped with a quick nod from the two as they opened the doors to Naruto and Sasuke. I'm sorry about that. It won't happen again. Please go on inside, they told them all, making everyone nod as they all went inside the Jutsu vault. Immediately Naruto gasped at the sheer size of it, and so did Sasuke. It was so damn large that they almost couldn't see the top of it. This was really amazing. By the way, what are you guys doing here? Naruto asked, turning to his mother, former sensei and new teammate. Kushina, Kakashi and Yugao chuckled with their own mischievous grins on their faces. Well, we were all going to come here sooner or later, but we saw you guys gone. It looks like others are around too, Yugao said, seeing Umbu and Jonin in the Jutsu vault. Yeah, it's quite packed, but we need to be quiet. It's sort of like a library of sorts, so keep quiet, Kakashi told them, and everyone nodded. Yugao quickly left the group to go and find something on swords, while Kakashi and Sasuke left, with one looking for fire techniques and the other for lightning, leaving Naruto and Kushina together in the place. So shall we get started, Ka-chan? Naruto asked, and Kushina nodded as they traversed the large library of Jutsu scrolls. So what are we looking for? Kushina asked, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. He looked in one aisle and sighed. Maybe we should start with something to do with chakra, I guess. Oh wait, I know just the thing, Ka-chan, Naruto said as he ran off to go and get a book, leaving Kushina on a staircase. In no time, Naruto returned with a book and handed it to Kushina. She looked at the book and noticed the title Chakra Outgoing and Ingoing. Kushina looked at the book with a confused expression, but then Naruto handed her another book that read Seals the Unknown Arts. Sochi, what do these books have to do with anything? Kushina asked, and Naruto smiled as he decided to leave her wondering, and Kushina never liked to be left wondering about something. Come on, Ka-chan. Right now we'll need to read up on these. Then I'll turn to our Uzumaki book for some more answers. Right now, Ka-chan will need to read these. Once we're done with these, then we can look at something else, Naruto told her, and Kushina nodded. She wondered where her son could be going with this, but she decided to get one with reading the books, while Naruto made a Kage Bunshin to go and get another book for him. The entire Heineken group secured a small table and read together. Naruto showed Kushina some illustrations of chakra that was able to go outward as well as inward at the same time. Granted, Kushina knew that, and she showed him the seal that were used to contain physical energy. Sasuke was looking at a fire jutsu scroll that was invented by the Sandaime Hokage himself. He wondered why it wasn't in the Hokage's vault, but he wouldn't complain about it. Kakashi was looking at a small scroll that spoke of a taijutsu for Sharingan users, while Yugao was staring at a sword book on the latest kenjutsu techniques written by old masters. It wouldn't be a short time before they left Hyuga compound. Hanako was watching her daughter train with her sister. It was a refreshing feeling to see her two daughters training so intensively. The wife of the Hyuga head smiled along with her husband and their daughter's progression. She sipped some tea with a sigh. Hinata, firmer stance. Hanabi, you need more execution, Hayashi instructed. Hi, they both said at the same time as they picked up their pace. Hayashi slightly smiled while he sat next to his wife and half-sister. It felt like a dream to have her back, and it was all thanks to Naruto. He of course was happy about it, but he also knew about the contract with Naruto and the Shinigami. It still seemed hard to believe that the blonde held a contract with one of the most powerful beings in the entire world, and he wanted to use its power to bring about peace. How was that for a good person? Hayashi-kun, are you alright? Hinako asked, noticing him, and Hayashi shook his head. I'm fine, Hinako. Just a little bit happy. Both girls have livened up since you came back, and even Niji is smiling more than usual, Hayashi said, and Hinako nodded with a smile on her face. We both know who to thank for that, she said, and Hayashi couldn't disagree with her on that. Soon a Hyuga came to the two and bowed before the Hyuga head and his wife. Hayashi-sama, you are being summoned to an immediate council meeting. Please get ready, the Hyuga told him, and Hayashi sighed with a nod as he stood to his feet and walked off with Hinako giggling. Well girls, I'll be taking over for your father, so you get a 5-minute break, then it's back to your spar. But this time you both will be fighting me, Hinako said, making Hinata and Hanabi raise their eyebrows. You sure we won't beat you, Ka-sama? Hanabi asked, making Hinata giggle at the joke before Hinako jumped into the air and backflipped over Hinata and Hanabi, making them both gasp before she safely landed on the field. You both didn't think that your father was the only one who taught members of the Hyuga clan, did you? Hinako asked, making Hanabi and Hinata stare at their mother in awe. And so the girls' training began. Council room. Tsunade had sat down in her seat as the clan heads filed in. They all sat in their appropriate seats. Soon after them the civilian council filed in, and everyone looked to see Tsunade rubbing her temples like she just had the shock of a lifetime. "So what's this meeting about, Tsunade-sama?" Some asked while placing her arms on the table. Hayashi closed his eyes and folded his arms while Tsunade turned to the Inuzuka head. "As of today I have a surprise for everyone. Especially Danzo," Tsunade said, glaring at the man, making the Root Division head narrow his eyes. "Well? Are you going to tell us or keep us in suspense?" Kohara asked, and Tsunade turned to them. "Calm down, you old bat. Now then, open the door," Tsunade said, and the Umbu did so. Immediately there was a single flash as the room was flooded with ki. They all tensed as the person walked into the room. Everyone widened their eyes while Hayashi seemed rather surprised. Some dropped her jaw along with Chusa. Shikaka sighed and rubbed the back of his head, while Shibi raised an eyebrow. Inoichi seemed confused as everyone stared at Mikoto. Danzo tensed as the Uchiha matriarch walked into the room. "Mikoto," everyone said while the woman glared at Danzo. "Danzo!" Mikoto yelled as she charged at the one-eyed man, only to be blocked by an Umbu. The Uchiha glared hard while she showed absolute disdain for the man in front of her. "Mikoto-san, please calm down. Wait, what's going on here?" Inoichi asked, and everyone turned to Tsunade for an explanation, making the Sannin smile. Tsunade told everyone the story that Mikoto told her. Needless to say, but everyone was rather surprised to hear that story, and before long they all got back to a current subject at hand. "So why is she trying to attack Danzo-sama?" a civilian asked while Mikoto narrowed her eyes at the bandage-covered man. "Why don't you tell them why?" Danzo Mikoto spat at him, and the elder closed his eyes while keeping his cool demeanor, but on the inside he was visibly trembling. Mikoto lowly growled while the Umbu tried with all his might to hold back her from impaling the man. "Go on, Danzo, tell them all how you helped in the Uchiha massacre. Tell them how you stole 6 Sharingan from 3 different people. Take off that damn bandage and show them the Sharingan that you stole from Shursui Uchiha," Mikoto yelled, and Danzo got to his feet. "Outrageous woman, do you all really believe this nonsense?" Danzo asked before Mikoto grabbed the arm of the Umbu and flung him away from her before she did a quick sidestep and slammed Danzo into the wall before Tsunade stood to her feet. "Danzo, take off that bandage. If what you say is true, then you should have no problem taking it off," Tsunade proclaimed, and the elder growled. Everyone had their eyes set on him, while Mikoto had her kunai right at his jugular. The old man narrowed his eyes before he looked directly at Mikoto. "Damn it, I could never have seen this coming. I thought I had gotten away clean. Damn that Itachi. He can't do anything right, can he?" Danzo wondered before Tsunade narrowed her eyes in impatience. "Well, Danzo, take off that bandage, and I mean now," Tsunade said, and Danzo narrowed his eyes while Mikoto smirked. Soon before anyone knew it, there came a barrage of smoke bombs in the room, filling it with smoke, making everyone cough while Mikoto covered her eyes and mouth. Soon the smoke dispelled and everyone turned to see Danzo gone. Tsunade narrowed her eyes, as did everyone else. She slammed the table while some stood to her feet. "Damn it, he got away clean. I can't find him anywhere," some said while Hayashi did a few hand signs. "Byakugan," he yelled as he tried to scan everything within his field of vision, but Danzo was gone while Mikoto sighed. "I'm going after him," Mikoto said as she jumped down, but she was stopped by Tsunade, who only gave a small grin. "Now Mikoto, don't be reckless here," Tsunade said while Inoichi agreed with her. He quickly jumped down to the floor and sighed. "We should get the Umbu on him immediately," Inoichi said, but Tsunade waved her hand off at the position. "You all go home. I know who can handle this mission." "That includes you, Mikoto," Tsunade said, and the Uchiha matriarch calmed down and nodded while Tsunade snapped her fingers. An Umbu appeared behind her and smiled. "Get me Yugao, Kakashi, Kushina, Naruto and Sasuke," Tsunade said, and the Umbu bowed before leaving while everyone looked at Tsunade with confused expressions on their faces. "Why do you need those 5? Chusa asked, and Tsunade simply smiled as she walked away. She really hated the fact that Danzo was now a suspect for being involved in the Uchiha massacre, but she was also grinning like mad. "I guess I'll give them their first mission. Granted, it's not how I wanted to induct them as a team," Tsunade said before she went into her office before she saw Mikoto follow her. Tsunade, I don't know what you want with my son or Kushina or Naruto, but I need to go after Danzo, Mikoto said, and the blonde woman sighed as she rubbed the back of her head before she sat in her chair. Mikoto, while I'm glad you're back, I still need you to know your place. I'm the Hokage, and what I say goes. Now calm down and wait for the others to arrive, Tsunade said, and Mikoto sighed before leaning against the wall. With Team Heineken, see Kaa-chan, if you place the seals on your wrists, then the outgoing chakra will merge with the ingoing and both will be concentrated to your hands as you form the ball, Naruto said to her, and Kushina seemed to understand as she saw how Naruto explained it. Sochi, the way that sounds makes it rather unstable. You're going to have to find a way to contain that chakra or it will explode right in your face, Kushina said, and Naruto could honestly agree with her on that while everyone else was busy reading some scrolls. But then an Umbu bursted through the door of the Jutsu vault. Heineken, report to Tsunade-sama's office at once, the Umbu said to everyone, making Naruto, Kushina, Kakashi, Yugao and Sasuke jump to their feet. They all narrowed their eyes while all the Jonin and Umbu who were in the room turned to the group. The team of Kenjutsu users quickly got to the door in a hurry. What happened? Naruto asked, and the Umbu instructed them to follow him towards the Hokage mansion as they all tried to get the Umbu to tell them what was going on. But no one had an idea of what he could want with them all. Soon they all came up to the door and opened it. Sasuke turned to see his mother leaning on the wall with a pissed-off expression on her face. He wondered what was wrong before Tsunade waved the Umbu away and turned to them all. Kushina noticed Mikoto, and the two gave each other a warm smile and waved before getting serious to the situation. Heineken, I have a mission for all of you. This will be your first mission as a group. It wasn't supposed to be this early, but circumstances forced my hand a little bit. We had a bit of a council meeting and, while Danzo has become a suspect to treachery, he might also be a small accomplice in the Uchiha massacre, Tsunade said, and Sasuke balled his fists, while everyone narrowed their eyes. Kaa-san, is that true? Sasuke asked, and Mikoto nodded while Tsunade sighed again before getting to her feet. Heineken, your first mission is to find Danzo, apprehend him and anyone who gets in your way. This will be an A-ranked mission. It's impossible that he left already, so you need to move fast, Tsunade told them, and everyone nodded to her with a bow. Mikoto, while I know you have issues with Danzo right now, I need you to go home and rest. It's not good to have you too excited, Tsunade, and everyone nodded. They all quickly left, and Mikoto did the same. And Naruto? Tsunade asked as the blonde turned around. Tsunade looked at the black lines on the blonde's left arm and sighed. Stay safe, she said, and Naruto nodded as he left while Tsunade leaned her head on the desk before looking out the window. Damn it, Danzo, you always had to be the biggest pain in the, didn't you? Tsunade asked herself as she watched Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, Yugao and Kushina rush on top of the rooftops. With the team, everyone rushed back to Kakashi's house, and the Jonin opened the door. They all quickly gathered inside around the table. Alright, we have our mission. We'll be leaving in approximately 10 minutes. Naruto and Sasuke will check all areas to the east. I go to the north, Kakashi the south and Yugao to the west. If any of us find Danzo, then we'll alert the others. As long as I've known him, Danzo's been crafty in everything that he does. Plus he has the experience to back it up, Kushina said before Naruto raised his hand. Who is this Danzo guy? I've never heard of him before, Naruto told them while Sasuke was in the same boat as the blonde and Kakashi stood to his feet. He's a member of the council and one of Konoha's most influential committers. He was in charge of Konoha's Umbu Root division, but it was supposedly shut down by the Sandaime due to the questionable way of training that Danzo did with his shinobi. He's always been shady, but Konoha could never find the evidence to pin him down until now, Kakashi explained, making Naruto and Sasuke nod while Kushina clapped her hands. Everyone has their assignments, so get moving right now, she said, and everyone got to their feet. They all dashed off throughout the room. Everyone put on their Heineken uniforms and strapped their individual swords to their sides. Everyone appeared back into the room as Kushina opened the door. Find, capture, and eliminate. Let's go, she said, and everyone dashed off in different directions. With Mikoto, the Uchiha matriarch sighed as she rested on the couch. Too much was going on that she didn't know about. She just knew that Danzo had done something to Shursui and that wasn't going to stand with her. Shursui was her older son's best friend, and it just really pissed her off. Mikoto got to her feet and walked through the compound. She appeared in Shusui's old house and sighed. It had a burnt room all around it just like she thought it would. Mikoto came into his room and walked around. She came into the hallway only to see a sword on the wall. Mikoto ignored it for the time being and surveyed the house. Shursui, I wonder what he was thinking before his death, Mikoto wondered before she thought of Danzo. She lightly growled before turning back around, and she grabbed the blade on the wall. It had a dark blue handle matching her hair and a shiny metal that was used from years and years of practice. Mikoto sighed while she graced her finger over the metal. Itachi, it seems that you didn't get Shursui's sword. He always did like this one, Mikoto said with a smile before she sheathed back the metal. Shursui, I'm borrowing this for a bit. Sorry if I need it, Mikoto said before she ran out of the hallway and then hit the streets. With Sasuke and Naruto, the two young swordsmen were running along the rooftops before they stopped. Sasuke looked around the place with his Sharingan, while Naruto had his Kage Bunshins cover the lost area. See anything, Sasuke? Naruto asked, and the Uchiha shook his head. It wouldn't be that easy to spot some like Danzo if people still haven't found the evidence to convict him. I've only heard about him once or twice, but dismissed it since it had nothing to do with me, the Uchiha replied, and Naruto grinned. I guess it does now, Naruto said, and Sasuke nodded. He looked at the uncertain spot and glared. Hey Naruto. Look there, Sasuke said to him, and the blonde turned. They both secretly went into an alleyway and Naruto touched his hand to a wall. He closed his eyes while Sasuke waited. The blonde opened them and nodded. Yeah, there is a high concentration of chakra right here. I don't know why, but I think we just caught a break, Naruto said, and Sasuke could agree with that. Do you think it's one of Danzo's bases? The last Uchiha asked while the Uzumaki shook his head. I'm not sure, but remember Kakashi-sensei's teachings? Naruto asked, and Sasuke thought back to that time. Look underneath the underneath, he said, and the blonde nodded. Right, so let's look underneath this wall, Naruto suggested, and Sasuke agreed with that. The two took their swords out and slashed the wall, making it crumble, revealing a passage going into the ground. The two Heineken members gazed down it and smiled. Let's go, Naruto said, and Sasuke nodded while he did a hand sign. The Uchiha sent a fireball into the air, making it explode while Naruto raised an eyebrow. Calling for the others, Sasuke said, and Naruto nodded as they walked through the passage. It was really long and narrow. It took quite a bit of time, but the two swordsmen came to a big underground training ground of some place. Various doors and halls could be seen while they looked to the side to see that they were standing on a platform. They saw that the bottom looked endless, and neither was willing to find out if it was. What are you doing here? Someone asked, making Naruto and Sasuke look up. They both glared as they saw two young Anbu, about their age, walk into the platform. Hey, we're looking for Danzo. Do you know where he is? Naruto asked, and the two Anbu narrowed their eyes behind their masks. Danzo-sama will not be meeting with you. Leave before you die, one of them said while Sasuke snickered. Look, either you tell us where his is or you'll be on the next road to the Shinigami, Sasuke said, and Naruto slammed his fist into his hand. He could get the sacrifice for Mikoto out of the way with this. What Sasuke said to you idiots? Now then, Naruto said as he drew his sword. Sasuke did the same while the Anbu remained emotionless. Are we going to do this the easy way or the hard way? And please say the hard way, Naruto told them with an icy glare before the two charged the Heineken members while Sasuke and Naruto smirked. Hard way it is, they said together as they charged to two young Anbu. Thanks for listening to my video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment below your favorite part. Sayonara, see you in the next video.